to practice on solving different density problems using density triangle here. So the density triangle just puts the formula in together in a triangle. So the formula is D equals M over V, where M is the mass, V is the volume, and D is the density, which is then represented in a triangle D equals M over V. I'm going to show you a trick now on how you can use the triangle onto tackling different problems. So in here, if the question was asking to find the density, go and hide the density on the triangle. So the density that I want to find will be D equals M over V, that we all know. Now, if the question is asking about to find the volume, so what we do is we go hide the volume in the triangle, and then we would be left with mass and volume, and they are divided by each other. So the volume would be mass over the density. Now, if the question is asking to find the mass now, what we do, hide the mass in the triangle. So the mass would be D multiply by V. So we multiply the density by the volume. Let's get started on practicing different problems now. Okay, problem number 1. It says that a copper penny has a mass of 3.1 gram. So in here, 3.1 gram and a volume of 0.35 centimeters cubed. So this is for the volume. Now, what is the density of copper? It's just easy. We use the formula, which is D equals M over V. Now, the mass and the volume were already given to me. So mass is here, 3.1 gram, divided by the volume, which is 0.35 centimeters cubed. Always remember the units because they are very important. The answer would be, if you just simply calculated, the answer would be 8.8571 gram per centimeter cubed. Remember, in the question itself, we have two significant figures. So here we have 35, and here we have 3 and 1. So we have to make our answer into two significant figures. So it will be 8 and this 8 as well. Okay? Now, if I want to make it into two significant figures, I look at the 5, as you all know. So it's bigger, if it's 5 or bigger than 5, we round up. So the answer would be, the final answer would be 8.9 gram per centimeter cube. That's for the final density. Okay, now moving on to question 2. If 96.5 grams of gold has a volume, so this is the mass, has a volume of 5 centimeters cubed, what is the density of gold? So density is what we need to find here. So you write the formula D equals M over V. How did I know that this number is mass? Because it says 96.5 grams, and grams is the unit for mass. So 96.5 grams divided by the volume, which is 5 centimeters cubed. You just work it out in your calculator. The final answer would be D equals 19.3 grams per centimeters cubed. So that would be the final answer. Moving on to question 3 now. If the density of a diamond is 3.5 grams per centimeters cubed. So here we have the density given to us. What would the mass of a diamond? So they need us to find the mass. What would the mass of a diamond whose volume is 0.5 centimeters cubed? So we have the volume given for us as well. Okay, in this kind of questions, we may use the density triangle to be able to find mass or to find the volume. So here they want us to find the mass. So if we want to find the mass, as I said at the start of the video, if I want to find the mass, hide whatever you want to find, which is mass. Here, we would be left out with mass equals D multiplied by V. So D times V would equal the mass. Right, so here we have the density is given for us is 3.5 grams per centimeters cubed times the volume, which is 0.5 centimeters cubed. For the unit, we would cancel centimeter cubes with centimeters cubed to be left with 3.5 grams multiplied by 0.5. The answer would be 1.75 grams. However, we still need to make it into two significant figures. Why? Because here we have two significant figures and here we have only one, but we will always go with the highest significant figures. So we have to make the final answer into two significant figures. So we'll keep 1 and 7, then we look at 5. So if the number is 5 or bigger than 5, we round up the next number. So we have to round up the 7. So the final answer would be 1.8 grams. So here we now know that the mass of this diamond is 1.8 grams. Let's practice one more problem. So if a 96.5 grams piece of aluminium, so here we have the mass, has a density, this aluminium has a density of 2.7 grams per centimeters cubed. So here we have the density. What is its volume? So we need to find the volume. So the volume here, it's unknown. Okay, so we know that density equals mass over volume. And we also know the density triangle. D equals M over V. Now, as I said again at the start, if I want to find the volume, let's say, so the volume will be mass over the density. So V equals M over D. Okay, we have the mass given and we have the density given for us as well. So mass is 96.5 gram, then divided by the density, which is 2.7 gram per centimeters cubed. This is just similar to the conversion unit. I'm not going to go into that. All we need to do is to flip this and just put it on the top. So it will look something like this, 96.5. The unit eventually, because we're talking about volume, the unit eventually has to be centimeters cubed. So 96.5 divided by 2.7, here's gram, multiplied by, if we flip this, centimeters cubed divided by grams, this gram will go with this gram, so the final unit will be centimeters cubed. So now using your calculator, 96.5 divided by 2.7, the final answer in three significant figures, because we have three significant figures, the final answer will be 35.7 centimeters cubed for the volume. So that's the final answer. Again, you have to have three significant figures because in here we have three significant figures, which is 9, 6, and 5. Okay, I hope this whole video was helpful. Please go check out my vlog on how to conduct your own experiments to check out the different densities for different households or different materials. I'll put the link down below on the description, and also I'll just attach it here as well. Alright, thank you for watching.